Welcome to Learn Data Science with KNIME.
This video tells you about the KNIME Workbench. The Workbench is the place where you will be building your workflows. It's also where you'll find all the resources you need to help you build your workflows. Let's have a look at it in more detail. In this video, we'll be looking at the Welcome page, the Workflow Editor and Nodes, the KNIME Explorer, the Workflow Coach, the Node Repository, the KNIME Hub Search, Description, Outline, and Console. Let's start with the Welcome page. When you launch KNIME, you'll see the Welcome page in the center of the KNIME Workbench. This page links you to information, for example, updates, blog articles, tips and tricks on using KNIME, news, and upcoming events. It also includes a search field to search the KNIME Hub, for example, to find nodes, workflows, components, and extensions. If you close the Welcome page by clicking here, you're left with an empty canvas. This is your KNIME Workflow Editor. The Workflow Editor is what you'll be using to build your workflows. Workflows are made up of individual tasks which we refer to as nodes. They perform all kinds of operations, for example, reading or writing files, transforming data, training models, creating visualizations, etc. You build your workflow by dragging nodes from the node repository to the Workflow Editor, then connecting, configuring, and executing them. You can change the visual properties of the editor by clicking the Workflow Editor Settings button in the toolbar. In the dialog that opens, you can change the grid size, show or conceal grid lines, change the connection style from angular to curved, and adjust the width of the connections. These changes only apply to the currently active workflow. Change them permanently by going to File, Preferences, KNIME, KNIME GUI, Workflow Editor. The KNIME Explorer is what you use to manage your workflows, workflow groups, and server connections. Let's have a look at the different things you can see and do in the KNIME Explorer. Mount points are workflow repositories you can access. The ones you can see here are the uppermost repositories located either on your local machine, i.e. your KNIME Workspace, on the KNIME Hub, or on the KNIME server. They are displayed as root directories here in the Explorer. For example, you can connect to the KNIME example server and access example workflows that have been built to demonstrate different functionalities in KNIME. The local workspace is the location on your machine that you defined when you launched KNIME, where KNIME saves all your workflows and associated elements. If you copy a workflow from a KNIME server to your local workspace, it will appear here in your KNIME Explorer, and vice versa. You can also store data files in your workspace and find them here in the Explorer. A component is a node that carries out a task built by a KNIME workflow. You can share components with colleagues or other teams. Any shared components show up here in the Explorer. Multiple workflows can be organized into so-called workflow groups. Essentially, these groups are folders in the KNIME Workspace that contain multiple workflows, associated data files, and even other workflow groups. The Workflow Coach provides node recommendations for your workflows. When the node is selected in the Workflow Editor, the Workflow Coach shows the most popular nodes to follow your selected node. If no node is selected in the Workflow Editor, the recommendations you can see are those nodes most popularly used to start a workflow. These node recommendations are based on KNIME community usage statistics. You can add nodes from the Workflow Coach to the editor by dragging and dropping them or by double-clicking. Currently installed nodes are available from the node repository. You can add a node from here to your Workflow Editor by dragging and dropping or by double-click. Search for a node by expanding the categories or typing a search term into the search field here. There are two types of search: the crisp search and the fuzzy search. The crisp search setting is the default mode and returns all nodes that either have the search term in the name or that are in a subcategory whose name includes the search term. The fuzzy search returns all nodes that are related to the search term. The KNIME Hub search bar is visible whenever you have either the Welcome page open or are working on a workflow. Enter your search term into the search bar. The KNIME Hub page subsequently opens and you can further filter your search by node component, workflow, or extension. This panel on the right of the workbench gives you information about the currently active workflow or about an individual node selected either in the node repository or the workflow editor. The workflow description tells you the purpose of the workflow, what it does, what you might need to run it, plus links to blog articles, for example, or other web pages related to the workflow. You can also give your workflow specific tags, making it easier to find if you decide to upload your workflow to your space on the KNIME Hub. Here you can see an overview of the currently active workflow. If the workflow cannot be viewed in its entirety in the workflow editor, you can see here which part is currently visible. You can change the currently active area by scrolling the blue rectangle. The console is where warnings or error messages are shown that relate to your workflow, indicating what's going on under the hood. That finally rounds off our little tour of the KNIME Workbench.
Thanks for watching. Hit the like button to let us know you've enjoyed this video and subscribe for more data science content. Visit grmds.org through the link in the description to access KNIME workflows and other valuable data science resources like online courses and webinars. Sign up is free.